This goes back to, I think, when I first got started full time in the business. I forgot how I developed a relationship with this guy. He was running a ministry in California. It wasn't a church, but it was like a ministry. He sold books. He did a lot of like podcast recordings, and he was looking for a website, a website design that
Was he
would
like an
basically
evangelist?
give. Say it again.
Was he like an evangelist?
He wasn't an evangelist, more like a teacher that had books that he wanted to get out into the market.
Okay.
And this should have been my first like news flash, because he had just stopped working with another guy that charged him a bunch of money. I was giving him a fraction of a deal,
Yeah.
compared to what the other person had offered him. The other guy, he had designed it. He locked up his design. He wasn't giving them access to anything. He was just, and they were so upset about it. It was a few other guys on their team, and it was actually local, so I actually drove out to their studio and met with them and talked about what I can do for them. And you just getting started in the business, you're glad you have a first client. You're gonna
Oh
make
yeah.
a little bit of money off of it. We were all gonna be friends afterwards, and we were gonna do a lot of business together, and it was just gonna be great. I swear I must have done 10 different designs. So the way I structure my business usually is, it's a 50% deposit and 50% at the end of the project. So he put the 50% down. It was good. He was actually a very wealthy guy too, which is funny, but extremely difficult to work with. Super picky, like just has an issue with everything. There's no resolution, and he's always wanting to squeeze as much out of a deal as he possibly could. And after about the fifth revision, I was like, man, I'm just getting squeezed off
Yeah.
of this.
So he's picky, but he doesn't know what he wants.
Basically, when I first started on the project, I asked, like, we went over, what he was looking for,
Yeah. The
and
onboarding questions and stuff.
and I was like, dude, this is exactly what you asked me for. But there was always something that could basically cause the whole thing to get ran over. I to have to do it over again, like, and I got like so upset in the process. I sent them like multiple emails where I'm like, in a really nice way, just going off
Yeah.
on them,
The corporate cuss out.
basically. And I'm going off like, yo, like, I don't know how many times we're gonna keep doing this. Like, you said you were a believer in Jesus and you're treating
Oh
me like
no!
this.
Stop!
There was some condescension to the whole deal, like, where he's like, yeah, I realize you're just getting started. And I was like, and I told him, I was like, I did not charge you enough to go through this. I told him
Yeah.
that. I was like, I did not charge you enough, and you're continuing to like just go back and forth. And he was a bit condescending too, like, yeah, I realize, yeah, you're just getting started in this business. And obviously I realized that you didn't realize how demanding this project was going to be, and all these different things. I was like,
But you took my non-demanding price though.
you did, and you did, and you're not giving me a real, like, you're not allowing this project to land. Like, this was only supposed to be a few months, and it ended up going to like 4 to 5 months. It just was a great example of, one, you have to, you especially with what I when I learned how demanding, especially like real intense web designs can be. Like, you have to charge for those. Like, you
Yeah,
can't
and limit the
just,
revisions or have a fee for additional revisions.
right. And when you think, oh, this is, you're discounting, or you're not, you can't say like unlimited revisions. You can't say, because some people are going to look at that, and they're going to be like, well, I'm not going to take advantage of it. Like, I know there's obviously a limit but there's some people who will just go down to the floor with you, and
Yeah.
you have to learn to put a limit on what you're gonna do, and also understand the value that you're adding. Like with with okay, you're not offering them a cheap deal like they might get on Upwork or on Fiverr, but you're also you if you understand what you're doing, you're offering them a great product, and this is something they're investing in. So yeah, it eventually finished, but I was like, dude, I'm never working with you all. I became real good friends with one of the guys in the thing, and I would like go I would talk to him, and he'd be like, man, yeah, I know so and so is is a is a jerk, and he's not gonna let this go. Like,
Yeah,
anyways,
you gotta put borders. Yeah, I mean, even in real estate, like when you go to build a house, they tell you there's a drop dead date. Like, okay, boom, you have to tell us exactly what you want by this date. Any revisions after that, it's gonna cost you,
yep,
and it's gonna cost you for the revision plus the fee of actually doing the change. Because if you don't do that, people will keep going back and forth. Oh man, I should go with this backsplash. I should go with that back. Now I should do the pot filler. No, I don't want to do the pot filler. I should do the gourmet kitchen. No, I don't want to do the gourmet kitchen anymore. Can we have white cabinets in gray or gray and white? Like, bro, you've already picked. You told me what you wanted. I gave it to you. Now you see it and you're like, man, that really ain't what I wanted. All right. Well, I could do that, but I ain't gonna do it for free. Because
right,
giving you what you wanted initially cost me. Yeah. So
exactly.
I, I, I I've been there, and I've had customers do that and say, "Hey, Leo, can we change the tile?" I'm like, "No, it's too late."
Wow.
I tell you, no, you can't do it. You can't do it now. You had a chance. You had an opportunity to pick what you want. Now that you no longer want it, that does not mean that we have to move heaven and earth to replace the tile, because when you had the opportunity, you had 2 weeks or however long to pick, you got to pick. But yeah, the flip floppers, the change with the wind. Now I want this, I want that. I can't do that.
That was actually a light one for me as well. I got a few others.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.